All right, hi everybody, this is Chris. I'm going to be talking to my friend and Comic Con buddy, Dan Nokes. We both just got finished tabling at a small little show here in Tyson's Corner called Capicon. We're outside at a local McDonald's and it's evening, so if it gets noisy or anything, we're just going to experiment and see how this goes. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Dan. Dan, say hi.
Hi, everybody. This is Dan Nokes from 21st Century Sand Shark Studios here at a undisclosed McDonald's somewhere in the greater Washington metro area. I am the sole proprietor and creator at 21st Century Sand Shark Studios, an independent company, comic book company based in Lusby, Maryland, that's been in operation since 2002. It's been here for 10 years.
Now, Dan, when we were doing our little experiment first, we talked about you recently decided to start doing this full time. When did you actually start doing that?
Roughly around September 2011. Basically, I had lost my day job, and I was stuck with two choices. Either I could go and try and find another day job, or I could make a full-time go out of what I love doing, which is making comic books and doing art and telling stories. I decided to do the latter, obviously, and so far I've managed to survive on making this a full-time gig for over a year now.
Now, Don and I have talked on our various podcasts before about the importance of maybe trying to branch out and do different shows besides just Comic-Con conventions. So, and I know you've been doing things like horror shows and stuff like that. What are some of the other shows you've been doing?
I've done everything from science fiction shows, arts and crafts, Christmas bazaars. It's kind of like an indie, like where you're an indie band and you got to go and play, like pizza parlors and closets or wherever they will happen to take you. And the same thing applies with your comic book creators. If you are doing this full time, you guys hit every single type of gig you can get your hands on. Try to diversify yourself because there are only so many comic book conventions in your local and regional area.
Now I know back in September I said I had a brutal Comic-Con schedule where I was doing 5 shows in 6 weeks, but you've been the man. You've been doing it almost every weekend since you started doing this, right?
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like being in a band or a musician. You just go out on tour and hit your comic book conventions or your clubs and your halls and your auditoriums and in some cases like Comic-Con International, your arenas and your amphitheaters and your larger arena type deals at football stadiums, as it were.
Well, like for today, for example, the show Capicon we do, and we've done it a couple of times. It's a small little show in the back of a fire department where they play bingo, and it's only for a few hours. Yeah,
basically. You go and you hang out down at the some of these guys that start at comic conventions. They're in libraries and churches, and I did a show in La Plata that's based out of they started a Catholic school up in La Plata, and I did really good money there. So, like I said, I'll take whatever venue I can get my hands on that happens to be cost effective and helps me get my name and my brand out there.
Now, tell us a little bit about what you sell at shows. I mean, I know, but tell the other viewers what you mainly sell on your shows.
Basically, what I mainly try to sell is my comic books that I create or own and published, as well as prints of my artwork, sketch cards, and original art, and I'll also do commissions and anything that fits under that kind of umbrella category.
Yeah, I have to say that you were kind of like the inspiration to me to start doing sketch cards, because tabling beside you for so long, I saw you had this big, huge notebook of sketch cards, and it really inspired me to do that. Talk a little bit about your sketch card business, I guess. That's
probably, in terms of commercial items that I sell, my best seller in terms of at least a volume. I got into it roughly, I guess the first time I saw a sketch card was around 2008. I saw them at Heroes Con in North Carolina, and I saw a few guys selling them, and it looks like, and this is roughly around the point where the economy started to go downhill, and before that point, I was doing really decent to good sales on commissions and original artwork. but roughly around the later part of that 2008 thing, the market went really downhill, and where I would usually do somewhere between a half a dozen and a dozen commissions over, say, a 2 or 3 day show weekend fell to about one, maybe 2 or 3 at a show. So I'm like, that I was losing huge revenue. So my thought is, how do I compensate that? How do I still able to get original art out there, but put it at a price people could afford? And then I thought back to HeroesCon where I saw the sketch cards. I was like, well, I can do that. I can churn out a sketch card in half an hour to an hour and sell it at, most guys it's anywhere between $5 and $20. And I sell it at a very low price, and people can still walk out with a nice piece of original art, and for, like I said, for a good price, for an awesome deal.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that we were just talking a few minutes ago of how some comic creators, they do prints of cards and they mass produce them, but you and I, we create our cards right there on the spot.
Yeah, and there's no, obviously there's advantages and disadvantages of going both ways. Basically with going the print route, it stops you from having to go and do the cards over and over and over again. You do your set, you can sell your original art for a higher price and then sell your prints in the books, and people are like, okay, here, those are $2 or $3 or whatever you want to sell it for. And then if you want to get the original art, that's, say it's $5, $10, $20, whatever you feel comfortable with selling your price with. But for me, I guess I feel a little more comfortable by having something to where people can own original pieces of my own art. And like I said, the sketch cards allow me to sell it at a much lower price, and it doesn't take quite as long as putting, say, like a 9x12 or 11x17 ink to full color commission, which can take me hours, sometimes days.
Yeah, and plus it's I know when it comes to me, when I do my little caricature cards, it's really a thrill. It's almost like a little bit of a small high when somebody comes by, has requested a card, you've done it, and it's done, and you get to see their reaction of the finished product right there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, since you can turn out more of those at a show, that again, since 9x12, or like I said earlier today, I did 2. One was a int commission, and one was a gray tone commission. And it was about a 5-6 hour show.
Yeah, 5-hour show.
5-hour show. It took me 5 hours to do those 2 pieces, probably closer to 3 to 4 for those. And I figure in that time I could probably burn through, I guess, a half a dozen to maybe 10 sketch cards. On the other hand, I mean, but it's still great to be able to. It's almost feeling like when you do like a little quick sketch challenge or a quick commission challenge to it. It's like, oh wow, I did this in such a nice short amount of time, and it looks great, and I can get it out to the customer and or a client, and then churn out another one.
And I know you recently jumped on board on this web comic thing,
yes,
right?
Yes, I'm officially on the 21st century digital era type of computer-based comic shindig type of thing. I got 2 projects coming out now. The first one we just put out with my brother Will. It's called the Reptile and Mr. Amazing: The Return of Cat Carson. I'll be handling the writing chores, and my brother will be doing some spectacular art chores. He's a lot different art style than my own. This sort of manga, anime influence type of deal, but it turns out it's magnificent looking stuff. You guys never get a chance. But the premise of that book is it's originally it started in a book I did 10 years ago called The Reptile and Mr. Amazing: The Origin, and it's sort of re-examining those characters so many years later, and it's based around the character of Cat Carson, which is for example, Captain America and a lot of guys got their powers through like the super soldier serum or the infinity formula or some sort of medical-based treatment. Well, isn't that, like I said, a medical-based treatment? Isn't it a drug? Don't we test that out on animals before we test it on humans? So the premise of that is, what if you took something like the super soldier serum and, say, gave it to a common house cat? You would get Cat Carson. The other book is hopefully coming out this Monday evening, or late afternoon, early evening. It's called Impossible Space Tales of the Last Pit Stop, which is written and drawn by me. The basic premise is, what if Area 51 were actually a convenience store for aliens?
Now, is this going to be what's your update schedule? Is it long?
It's going to be monthly, but since there's 2 books, we can sort of jump back and forth between a new Cat Carson and a new Impossible Space Tales. Hopefully, we'll have something to where it balances out. One goes every couple weeks and then jumps to another one, then another couple weeks. Kind of like picking up a comic from your local comic book store, but instead you're picking it up from online.
And since you just mentioned your brother Will, and we just happen to be standing right beside Will, so Will, hop out in here and say hi to everybody.
Come, Will, sit down.
Oh, hey, everybody. This is my favorite show. Get out of my way. Hi, I'm William Nix. I'm an artist, mostly digital. My work stems from mainly manga influences, and I'm working on Return of Cat Carson.
So what's it like working with your brother? Is it a hate relationship, or is it a love-hate relationship?
Shut up!
Who takes control and who says that's enough? Leave me alone.
It's mostly a point where I will show him the work and he'll go over what needs to be changed and what needs to be modified. But it's nothing big or dramatic. I usually fit what he has written down.
Get back to work.
Okay. All right. Well, get it back in. Both of you guys get back in here and say one last word before we cut out for today. So there we go. Go ahead.
She's
Hey guys. Gouda. Seriously, if you guys get a chance, go to www.21sandshark.com, where you can check out our online store where Cat Carson and Impossible Space Tales can be found. And they can also locate us to our Facebook site, our Twitter site, and all our social media type extravaganza type deals. I also, while I'm on Facebook, we do a couple of great monthly features, including tomorrow will be a new edition of Dan Nokes' Enemies List for those guys.
I was just going to say, end off, before we end off, you got to give me at least one more addition to your Enemies List.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah, that kid at the store who kept saying 300 times, I am Iron Man, when he was wearing a War Machine mask. He's definitely on my Enemies List. We also do some stuff like Ask an Old Geezer and the warm-up quick sketch challenge. The first one and the last one will be reinitiated as of tomorrow, so check on in with tomorrow will be our introduction of Impossible Space Tales. We're also having a first of 4 Kickstarter campaigns for our previous book, Adam and Eve, Bizarre Love Triangle and the Zombie Apocalypse. We're doing an omnibus for that, and we're going to be doing a Kickstarter campaign for that as well. And like I said, we're doing the Enemies List tomorrow, and we're restarting the Quick Sketch Challenge.
All right, so one last question before we get out of here.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can get your freecreditscore.com discount.
Yes, it's at www.bitemequick.com. www.bitemequick.com.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. And it's Dan and his brother Will. So hopefully check out their stuff on and come back to.
We'll be here at your local McDonald's somewhere. Somebody may be passed out underneath the outside alfresco area.
Don't talk on me. And keep visiting webcomicsalliance.com. Bye.
Cheers.